I just bought my first turntable in probably 40 years. My first turntable I ever had when I was in 7th or 8th grade. It was a King's Point, and it was a turntable, cassette deck, and AM/FM radio tuner all built into one. I haven't had that turntable probably in 20 years. It fell apart in the mid-90s, and I replaced it with a CD player and cassette deck. And I am just thrilled to have this, because what you just saw me doing there is you take the record out. This is the Beatles' White Album, and I have not heard this album. This is my White Album that I got in 1976 when I was 10 years old. And when you play a vinyl record, there's an intimacy between you and the music, because you actually have a piece of artwork in your hand. You actually hold the record, and you pull it out of the sleeve, and there's like this intimacy between you and the vinyl. You pull it out of the sleeve, you put it on the turntable, you clean it, and there's a whole physical thing with playing vinyl that doesn't exist with MP3s or with CDs. Like, I've got a shelf full of CDs over here, and it's just like, whatever. You know, you pull out the CD, you throw it in the slot, and you play it. But there's this whole intimate relationship between the music and a piece of vinyl that doesn't exist with the digital world, that digital realm that I just love and I miss so much. It's funny, as I've started to play records again, I'm so used to being able to just pause a song like an MP3, or skip through it, or skip to the next one with the touch of a digital button. So I'm playing this, and there's one song on the side one back in the USSR of the White Album that is scratched, and so the needle was skipping, and I was like, oh, I wanted to stop it and automatically hit fast forward to the next song, but you can't do that in vinyl. You have to pick up the arm and move it to the next song on the groove. And there's a certain inconvenience to playing vinyl that you don't have. There's no inconvenience to playing an MP3 or streaming stuff, because when you're streaming, you're playing an MP3, it's all automated, or you just hit a button and it moves to the next song. You move 20 seconds into the song and things like that. But with vinyl, you really have to pay attention to it. It's like a friend. It's like you have a relationship with this piece of vinyl. There's a history with me and this piece of vinyl that goes back to 4th grade. This is an album that I cherished and I listen to all the time. And I still listen to this album. I tried listening to it on CD, but the problem I have with CDs is that to me the music sounds cold and antiseptic. It sounds very just sterile. But when you listen to it on vinyl, it's a very warm and friendly and inviting sound. There's something about the scratches on the record that sounds so amazing. And I'm just so happy to have vinyl again. It's like revisiting my youth. It's like revisiting friends. I mean, in the old days, my friends and I would get together, 2 or 3 of us would get together. We'd go over to somebody's house. And this is when we were kids in junior high school and high school, even younger, elementary school. And somebody would come over, or we'd go over to someplace else. And we'd sit in somebody's bedroom, turn on the record player and put on a record. And we'd sit there and listen to it and analyze it and look at the lyric sheets, because I don't have the lyric sheets with this, but this came with a whole poster that I still have the poster somewhere, but I don't have it here in this one. But it would come with the lyric sheets. This had a whole poster, and I think on the back side of the poster were all the lyrics to all the songs. And we'd sit there and read the lyrics, and you'd listen to the song, you listen to them sing, and you'd sit there and you'd talk about life, you talk about just the song and how it sounded and how it felt or how cool it was. And honestly, I don't hang out with kids anymore, so I don't know if this is what kids or teenagers do these days, or if they have an intimate relationship with music. But my friends and I, even up through college, I mean, we'd all sit in a room, just a room, and listen to music. And I think that's gone from music, and I think the intimacy and the intimate connection you have with the music and the artwork, like to actually hold an album, this is like holding a piece of art, and the way it's designed. It's well thought out and crafted. It's, you know, the White Album was a statement that the Beatles were making at the time. You know, instead of having some, you know, they had gone from Sgt. Pepper's, which was this really ornate, colorful, psychedelic cover with like all these people on the cover. They went from that, I think, to Magical Mystery Tour, which was another bright, psychedelic cover with them dressed up in animal costumes, to just plain white. It's called the Beatles. And when it was originally released, the word the Beatles was not printed, it was embossed. And I have the embossed version too. But the Beatles are making a statement there. But the album cover was part of the music. The artwork in the album cover was part of the music. Everything consumed you was all part of that moment. It was all part of your relationship with the music. So the album cover, the inner sleeves, the artwork that came with it, everything made a connection with you to the music. So that's one of the beauties of vinyl, is that the artwork from the artists of that time, it was well thought out, it was planned out, the artist had a say in some of what they put on the album covers. And I really missed it. And I had no idea how much I missed it until I got this Audio-Technica AT-LP120. It's a USB direct drive professional turntable. And I just love it. Absolutely best purchase I've made in years. So if you're younger and you're not familiar with vinyl, it'll take some getting used to. But what I would say is try it. Go out and get yourself a turntable. Go to a used bookstore or record store and get some old LPs and try it. See what you think of it. It's probably going to be an acquired taste for the younger people because you're used to everything being automatic. It's just an MP3 or a wave. It's a push a button and it plays all the songs. There is an inconvenience to this because if you get an album through iTunes, it plays all the songs right in a row. With this, you've got 4 sides. This is a 2-record set. The White Album's a 2-record set. You got 4 sides. When the first side is done, you've got to flip the record over. You know, you got to turn it off. You got to pick it up, turn it over, and start all over again. But see, there's an intimacy. You have an intimate connection. You have a relationship with the piece of plastic in your hands. It's not just, you have to pay attention to what you're doing. You have to be, one with the music. With an MP3, you don't. You just put it in and it plays, and it's just doing what it does. It's just automated. So you'll find some inconvenience. You'll have to pick up the record. You have to turn it over. You have to start and stop it. Record players in the old days were automated. So when the arm, like if the arm made it all the way to here, the arm would stop, it would pick up, and it would return itself to its resting position. There were also tall spindles on the old record players where you'd have multiple records on top of each other. So when this one was done playing, the arm would pick up, come back over here, and it would drop down and go back down and bring the next record down. So some of it was automated. This is not automated. This is all manual. It's more of a professional, kind of like a DJ style turntable. So I would try, if you're younger, to try vinyl because it is just an amazing experience. You'll really enjoy it. I've had a great time with this, the Audio-Technica AT-LP120 USB turntable, professional, direct drive professional turntable. I think you'll really enjoy it. But I'm just like thrilled with this. There are some inconveniences, but like I said, it's like you're having a relationship with the music. And if you have friends or if you've had relationships with people, it's just like a person. It's like you have to take care of it, you have to watch it, you have to maintain it, you have to clean it. You know, this thing right here, you've got to It'll clean the dust off the grooves, you know. You gotta maintain your records, you gotta keep them stored in a certain way so they don't warp. You have to keep them away from really high temperatures so they don't melt. It's the relationship with the physical thing. It's almost like it's living a breathing thing that you don't have with an MP3 or a CD. So go out and buy yourself a turntable. It doesn't have to be the Audio-Technica ATLP 120. It could be any record player. Some of them, the cheaper ones, may destroy your records because they have really bad needles or styluses on them. That's why I recommend getting a higher end one, because they'll be, you know, treat your records better. So I'm going to listen to this. This is side 3 of the White Album, The Beatles, track 1, Birthday. Have a good day. Bye.